For 10 long years, the Trojan War had raged. And for 10 years more, one of its greatest heroes had vanished from the world.
His name was Odysseus, king of Ithaca. And in his absence, his kingdom was falling into ruin.
Pour me another goblet! When will the queen finally choose her new husband? Pass the roasted boar down here. Day after day, they devoured his wealth, slaughtered his cattle, and disrespected his home, believing the king to be dead.
He watches us, but does nothing. A toast to the king's absence.
But the gods had not forgotten the clever Odysseus. The goddess Athena, his divine protector,
She convinced Zeus that it was time to bring the hero home. And so, a divine plan was set in motion.
First, Athena descended to Ithaca in disguise. She appeared before the young Telemachus. You are a boy no longer. You must act. You must sail the seas to find news of your father.
Her words filled him with a spirit and boldness he had never known.
I call an assembly of the island's leaders for tomorrow. This has not been done since my father sailed for Troy. There I stand before the people, and I command you, suitors, to leave my home and stop your destruction.
But they laughed and mocked him, scorning the boy who dared to play king in his father's hall. This is your fault. The gods are angry because of your arrogance.
My arrogance. It is your weakness that has brought this upon us.
Your doom is near, and Odysseus will soon return.
Bring the amphorae aboard,
Aye, Captain.
and raise the anchor softly now.
You must swear you won't tell her, not until 12 days have passed.
I promise, my boy. Now go, quickly.
Guided by the goddess, the son sailed into the unknown, seeking the father he barely knew.
Their first stop was Pylos, the kingdom of the wise old King Nestor, who had fought alongside Odysseus at Troy.
They arrived to find a land of order and piety, a stark contrast to the chaos they had left behind in Ithaca.
To your safe arrival, son of Odysseus. May the gods grant you fortune on your quest.
I thank you, great king.
Heed my words. Speak now.
Tell me, great king, have you heard any word of my lost father?
Nestor spoke of the war, of the glory and the sorrow, praising the cunning of Odysseus, the master strategist.
He recounted the tale of the Trojan horse, a plan so brilliant it could only have come from the mind of Odysseus.
But of his journey home, Nestor knew little. He told the prince that the gods had scattered the Greek fleet. Go to Sparta. Ask King Menelaus. He was the last to return. To speed his journey, the old king gave him a chariot and his finest horses, a gift of honor.
And he sent his own son, Pisistratus, to travel with the young prince, a companion for the road ahead.
The two young princes traveled overland, through the wheat fields and valleys of the Peloponnese, towards the famed city of Sparta.
They arrived at the palace of Menelaus and were struck with awe. Its splendor was like that of the sun or the moon.
There they met King Menelaus and Queen Helen, the very woman whose beauty had launched 1,000 ships to Troy.
Never have I seen such a likeness as this boy has to the great Odysseus.
You have your father's eyes, young man. You must be his son.
I am Telemachus, son of Odysseus. Their talk turned to the war and its sorrows. To soothe their pain, Helen...
Tell me what you know of my father's fate.
I was stranded in Egypt, unable to return home. It was a terrible journey. Hear me, Menelaus. To sail home, you must first appease the great gods you have offended. Only then will the seas welcome you. But he told me of another. A hero he had seen, trapped and grieving.
He is a captive on an island in the halls of the nymph Calypso, who keeps him there by force.
The news was a painful blessing. His father lived, but was a prisoner.
Stay with me, my boy. Accept these tokens of my esteem.
You honor me, great king, but I must return to my ship. My mother awaits.
But back in Ithaca, the suitors had discovered the prince's secret departure. Their mockery turned to murderous rage.
The boy has grown bold. We will take a ship and wait for him in the straits. We will end his little journey for good.
My queen, forgive my urgency, but Telemachus has sailed, and the suitors mean to ambush him at sea.
She wept for her lost husband and now for her son, sailing straight into a death trap.
Do not despair, Penelope. Your son Telemachus is safe, protected by the goddess Athena.
And so, as the sun journeyed home, filled with newfound hope, a deadly trap was being set, a snare of jealousy and murder, waiting to extinguish.
But where was the great Odysseus? For 7 years he had been a prisoner, trapped on the...
But every day he refused. His heart longed only for his mortal wife, Penelope, and for the shores of Ithaca.
By the will of Zeus, son of Kronos, you must allow Odysseus to depart. Do not hinder him.
You must release Odysseus, Calypso.
It is the absolute will of Zeus.
I will not. You cannot take him from me.
His journey is not yet over.
You are free to go, Odysseus. Build your raft.
I am wary of tricks, goddess. Swear a sacred oath.
I swear it by the Styx. For 4 days he worked, a master craftsman building his vessel of escape. On the 5th, she sent him on.
For 17 days he sailed, his eyes fixed on the constellations, his heart finally filled with the hope of home.
But Poseidon, god of the sea, returning from a distant land, saw him. He thinks he has escaped. His suffering is not yet over.
A great wave shattered his raft, casting him into the churning sea, a toy in the grip of an angry god.
For 2 days and nights he was tossed by the waves. But a kind sea nymph
There, he was found by the Princess Nausicaa. Guided by Athena in a dream, she showed him kindness instead of fear.
During a feast, a blind bard sang of the glorious deeds at Troy. The bravest men fell that day beside the walls of Troy. Great
Stranger, tell us who you are. Tell us the story of your sorrows, so that we may share them with you.
I am Odysseus, son of Laertes. Laertes, a name known to the heavens. And this is the story.
It began after Troy fell. My men and I, eager for home, sailed with high spirits, but we were foolish and proud.
We first sacked the city of the Cicones, but lingered too long in our greed, and were driven back to sea with many men lost.
A storm drove us off course for 9 days, until we reached the land of the Lotus Eaters.
My men who ate the honey-sweet fruit lost all desire to return. I had to drag them back to the ships.
Next.
giant returned and sealed the cave with a stone so large 20. He seized 2 of my men, dashed their heads against the rock like puppets, and ate them raw for his...
I drew my sword, but knew if I killed him, we would be trapped forever. So I devised a plan.
That evening, I approached the beast with a bowl of my strongest wine. He drank it greedily.
What is your name? My name is Nobody. Then my gift to you is this. I will eat. Nobody last of all.
We thrust the stake into the embers, heating it until it was a terrifying thing, glowing with imminent destruction.
With a prayer in our hearts and all our strength combined, we lifted the stake and drove it deep into his single eye.
What is wrong, Polyphemus? Who is hurting you?
Nobody is hurting me. Nobody is trying to kill.
If nobody is hurting you, then it must be a plague from the gods. We cannot help you. My cunning had worked, but we were still trapped. At dawn, but I had another plan. I lashed my men to the bellies of the thick-fleeced sheep, hidden from the giant's touch. The blind giant stroked the ram's back, lamenting his lost sight, but he never thought to check underneath. We were free. Cyclops! If any man asks who it was that blinded you, who brought you to this shame, tell them it was Odysseus, raider of cities, son of Laertes, king of Ithaca. The giant, in his fury, tore her off a hilltop and hurled it at us. This was my gravest error, for now the giant knew my name. Father, hear me. Grant that Odysseus never reaches his home.
We sailed on and came to the island of Aeolus, keeper of the winds. For 9 days we sailed, so close to home we could see the shore fires.
This time, the Wind King would not help us. He cast us out, calling us the most cursed of all living men. We came to the land of the Lestrygonians, a race of giant cannibals. Their queen was a horror the size of a mountain. They hurled boulders from the cliffs, smashing my fleet to splinters and spearing my African-American...
Only my ship escaped. I looked back at the harbor of blood and shattered timber, my heart ripped apart by the loss.
Shattered, we landed on the island of Aya, home to the beautiful and terrible sorceress, Circe, with a voice like a goddess.
She welcomed my men to her palace, offering them a drugged potion of cheese, barley, and wine.
As I went to save them, the god Hermes appeared. He gave me a magical herb, moly, that would make me immune to her witchcraft.
What did her infect?
She swore a great oath by the gods to
Do us no more harm.
Finally, my men reminded me of our true purpose.
Home.
Home.
She agreed, but revealed a chilling prophecy.
To
find my way home, I must first journey to the Underworld.
We sailed to the edge of the world. Odysseus.
He gave me my prophecy. A hard journey, the wrath of Poseidon, and a stark warning.
Then, I saw a sight that broke my heart.
Died of a broken heart, waiting for you to return.
Let me hold you.
Please.
I spoke with the shade of the great Achilles. I told him he was a king, even among the dead. Do not speak to me of glorious death. I would rather be a slave on earth to a poor farmer.
Returning to the world of the living, Circe warned me of the peril.
I followed her advice. I plugged my crew's ears with beeswax so that they would hear nothing.
But I, curious to hear their song and live, had them tie me to the mast and commanded.
Their song filled my heart with a desperate madness, a promise of all.
I begged and pleaded to be freed, but my loyal men only bound me tighter, saving me from my own desire.
Then we faced an impossible choice. On one side, Charybdis, a whirlpool that would swallow the whole ship 3 times a day.
Above us, look! It's the monster! Help me!
It is better to lose 6 men than your entire ship.
As we watched the horror of Charybdis, Scylla's 6 heads shot down and snatched 6 of my best men from the deck.
Their screams echoed as she dragged them up the cliff to her cave. That was the most sickening sight of my entire journey.
Finally, we came to the island of the sun, and there grazed the sacred golden cattle of the god Helios.
I made my men swear a sacred oath. No matter how hungry, they would not touch the god's sacred cattle. We landed on the island of the sun, and I made my men swear a sacred oath. No matter how hungry, they would not touch the god's sacred cattle.
But for a month, relentless storms sent by the gods trapped us there. Our food from Circe's ship ran out.
My men were consumed by a ravenous hunger. They scoured the island for fish and fowl, but it was not enough to keep starvation at bay.
I went in there praying God for some sign of salvation.
But the gods, in their cruel plan, cast a sweet sleep upon me.
My friends, all deaths are hateful, but death by starvation is the worst of all. Let us drive off the best of these cattle and sacrifice them. If the sun god is angry, then it is better to die at sea in one gulp than to starve to death here.
His mutinous words convinced them. They rounded up the finest of Helios's cattle and prepared them for a sacrifice.
We give you water and leaf.
The bull is slain. Let the feast begin!
Father Zeus, you have ruined me.
A nymph brought the news to Helios.
Father Zeus and all you blessed gods, punish the men of Odysseus. If they do not pay for this, I will take the sun. Calm yourself, Helios. I will strike their swift ship with a white-hot bolt and shatter it to pieces on the sea. For 6 days my men feasted, but the gods showed them terrifying portents. The hides began to crawl.
On the 7th day, the storm ceased. My men, foolish and doomed, boarded the ship.
But once we left the land behind, Zeus gathered a black cloud above our ship.
ship itself was torn apart. My men were thrown into the waves, seagulls, like...
The storm drove me back towards Scylla and the dreaded Charybdis. I saw the great whirlpool sucking down the black water. As my raft was swallowed, I made a desperate leap and clung to the branches of a great fig tree, hanging over the abyss.
At last, it spat them out. I dropped from the tree, landed on the timbers, and paddled away with my hands, escaping death a second time.
Water. Please, water.
You have suffered enough. We will see you home, and we will do so with gifts worthy of a king.
They loaded a swift ship with treasures greater than all he had won at Troy. Bronze tripods, fine linens, and heaps of gold. Odysseus gave his heartfelt thanks to the king and his court, and especially to the Princess Nausicaa, his first savior.
He boarded their magical ship, and as he lay down, the gods poured a sweet, profound...
The ship shot across the water, faster than a falcon, slicing through the waves as it carried the sleeping king home. At dawn, they reached Ithaca, but Arthur had shrouded the land in a thick mist.
They have betrayed me. Have I everything?
Stranger, what land is this?
Ithaca.
Ithaca.
My origins are troubled, friend. I hail from Crete, but I am here before you now as a desperate fugitive.
You are a cunning man indeed. Even in your own land, you cannot resist a good lie.
This is Ithaca.
We strike at dawn. The suitors will not expect us.
Good. Their blood will stain these halls.
The suitors have overrun the palace. They are arrogant and wasteful, and now they are plotting to murder Telemachus.
They will pay. They will all pay.
You cannot go as yourself. They are more than 100 strong. You must use your mind, not just your might.
She touched him with her wand. A magical disguise fell upon him, a far cry from the hero of Troy. She dressed him in filthy rags and gave him a beggar's staff and pouch. The king was now a pauper in his own land.
Go to the hut of your loyal swineherd, Eumaeus. Wait for me there. I will go and bring your son home.
But Eumaeus, the loyal swineherd, ran out and saved him. He invited the poor stranger inside, for he honored the gods and the laws of hospitality. Inside, Eumaeus spoke of his sorrow, of the lawless suitors, and of his grief for his lost master, whom he believed was dead. But the good king is gone, lost to the waves these 20 years.
He is alive. I swear by great Zeus, Odysseus will be here before the month is out.
Eumaeus did not believe him, but he treated the stranger with kindness all the same, giving him the best of his own meager stores.
Sail for home at once. The suitors have a deadly ambush planned. How to avoid the ambush and to go directly to the swineherd's hut upon his arrival.
Telemachus, his heart pounding with urgency, set sail at once, his ship flying across the waves towards his dangerous home.
He followed the goddess's counsel, and his ship sailed safely past the narrows, where the suitors lay in their failed ambush.
He landed safely on Ithaca, and, just as he was told, he made his way up the winding path.
Telemachus entered the hut, and there, sitting by the fire, he saw the old beggar. Father and son were in the same room, yet they were strangers. Go quickly, Eumaeus. Tell the queen I have returned safely. Leave us now.
She touched him with her golden wand, and the magic of the disguise unraveled in an instant. The old beggar was gone. In his place stood a king, tall and powerful, his eyes shining.
You are no mortal, but one of the gods who rule the wide heavens. Have mercy on us.
I am no god. I am your father. I am that father for whom you have wept, enduring so much pain and suffering at the hands of violent men.
Telemachus, my son, it is true. Athena herself has worked this miracle to bring me home to you. Do not doubt the power of the gods.
And Odysseus held his son and wept. The two of them cried together, their voices shook. When their tears were spent, they sat down. The time for grief was over. The time for vengeance had begun.
You will go to the palace. I will follow, disguised as a beggar once more. No matter what they do to me, you must hold your tongue.
And when I give the signal, you must gather all the weapons from the hall, the spears, the shields, the swords, and lock them away. The king had returned. The sun stood ready. And in the great hall of Ithaca, over 100...
The king returned to his own home, a beggar in the land he once ruled. The suitors, in their pride, mocked him, cursed him, and threw things at him.
Penelope, ever hopeful, commanded that the strange beggar be brought to her. Perhaps he had news of her lost husband.
Odysseus will return before this moon is new.
Whoever can string Odysseus's great bow and shoot an arrow through 12 axe heads can have my hand.
The suitors, arrogant and strong, tried one by one. But none of them could even bend the mighty weapon.
Allow me a turn.
Silence! Allow him his turn.
Odysseus took the bow in his hands. Effortlessly, as a musician strings. The contest is over. Now, for a new target.
And so the slaughter began. The king, the prince, and 2 loyal herdsmen, against more than 100 men.
Move the master's bed, Eurycleia.
Woman, what a thing to say. I built that bed myself around the olive tree. No man could move it.